Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to our Eastleigh save, and it's the big day. Our first game in the Premier League for Eastleigh. It's massive. It's going to be massive. We've made a bunch of transfers with that money we were given. You saw that we had about 35 million to spend. So it's a big one. We're going to have to see how it goes. We're predicted to come rock bottom. So no real surprise there. If we take a look at the season preview, you can see expected to come rock bottom, and I mean we've got a face off to the likes of Haaland and Mukoko, Musiala for Liverpool, Mariba for Tottenham, Fati as well for Man United. So it's going to be tough. I'll be honest, I'm not sure we're actually going to win many games at all. But we've got Burnley, Swansea, and Cardiff ahead of us, who we want to push down into that relegation spot. But we are definitely at odds to go down. That's for sure. But let's take a look at some of the transfers and transfer history. So there have been goings out and coming in. So need to show you absolutely those little bits that have gone on, especially at the end of last season. So we knew that Papa Mendy was leaving us for Bolton. We were fully aware that that was going to be happening. It's a shame. He was very good for us for the time he was with us, but he's not Premier League quality, is he? And he wanted to go, so we weren't going to stop him. Now, otherwise, what we've also done is signed a few players right at the end of last season, just before we came officially into the Premier League. We signed 3 players. First off was Giancarlo Violato from Napoli for £3 million. He's going to play as our deep-lying playmaker. A bit more experience. He's played for the likes of Inter and Napoli, so you can't really go wrong there. He's only 23, so plenty of time for a bit of growth as well. Some good technique, good teamwork, work rate and positioning as well, along with determination and bravery. So he looks very, very tidy, and someone I'm very happy with signing. So what we have done is certainly upgrade the midfield, or at least pack it out a bit more. So we've got some more players to rotate in, which I think was the position we were struggling with a bit. Next is Abube Ibrahim from Sonjerski. 2 million rising to 2.1 million. I think a very good signing. He's really a ball winning midfielder. Obviously we don't have that in the side, but I was thinking he could definitely play as a box to box. Not great finishing, but if his technique tackling grows with him, he's 18 years old, so plenty of time for that growth. But with some great stamina, he can certainly develop and become a good box-to-box midfielder for us. Certainly someone who's great in there. And 2 million, I think, is a bit of a steal. We then looked for a cover at right back. Jeven Hagen from Mold was that player. £2 million for him, rising to 2.4. A Norwegian international, so experience as well. Currently not necessarily at the level we need him to be, but Ramsey is going to be our first choice. He's going to be our kind of backup sort of player, but I think he's very well rounded. He's got the attributes we need to fill in that role, and I mean he can even play a bit further forward if we need him to. So if something happens, we've got that as well. But we have got some more outgoings as well that have come about. Loranga has left us per Penarol, as we expected at the end of last season. He's gone, not quite good enough for us. Aristod Mbayo, a player that we weren't going to renew the contract of because, again, he wasn't going to be good enough for us in the Premier League, so we have let him go. He's joined Hearts there. We've also got Lewis Blanchard, one of our academy players who've come through. He's kind of dropped off slightly, but we've sold him on to Linfield, got a bit of money for him, so can't complain too much. Jimmy Gomez is another one, an attacking midfielder from Colombia. He never really played for us. I mean, he didn't at all. We loaned him out a few times. We signed him on quite a big contract to try and get him the work permit he needed. But in the end, he has left us and joined Envigado in Colombia. 85,000. I mean, I think it's a profit because we got him on a free, but it's nothing special. Bergar Bakken has also left us for Dunfermline for 130,000. So a bit of money cashed in on there. Again, technicals aren't quite good enough to really be able to get in there. But there you go. It'll help Dunfermline out, that's for sure. And Odvar Ardal has gone back to Rosenborg, £500,000. Again, like I say, we upgraded our centre midfield. He wasn't going to be good enough to play on that left-hand side. And centrally, again, he's not quite good enough. So we have moved him on. We've got 500,000 for him, which is quite funny, really. We signed him for 450, sold him for 500,000 back to Rosenborg. But they got 50% of the profit. So really, we only got paid 25,000 overall, I think. So it kind of was a weird deal, but he's obviously doing quite well over there, which is great. Otherwise, we can take a look at what we have signed. So we've signed Ivan Olivero on a free, as we saw. We'd already planned that in. He's signed. He's in the first team currently as a backup centre-back. We've also signed Charlie Patino, one of the Arsenal youngsters that came on recently for them in I think it was the Premier League, when they were struggling for players. He's come into the side. He looks very good. He's got experience at Premier League level as well, which is great. He was signed for Swansea for 5.75 million, and us getting him on a free, very happy with that. But yeah, like I say, he's played Premier League before, played all of last season for Swansea in the Prem, so hopefully he can kind of give us that experience we wanted. Aziz Siddibay is another player that we had already planned to sign and was coming in. He's still out on loan at Giraffe, just to get him that experience. Hopefully he will develop quite nicely. We obviously saw Eric Jeven Hagen, our fullback that we had already mentioned. Herman Gerk is another centre-half that we'd signed, 2.5 million from Red Bull Leipzig. Again, he's a backup at the moment in the first team. Not sure what I'm going to do with those two, as they're not quite good enough ready for the first team. But they're still about. The player that we have signed as a centre-half, though, is Gilberto Sepulveda, 1.7 million from Chivas, where he's played 330 games for them. It's just a bit of experience. 32 years old. He's not played, obviously, football in the Premier League or in Europe. He's been at Chivas forever. But I don't know. I saw him and I was like, we could get him on a good deal. 1.7 million isn't bad. He'll spend a couple of years. He's got international experience, some nice mentals. His technicals aren't bad either, and his physicals aren't bad. So whether he starts or is a sub, I think he's certainly a player that can do some good. Next, we did actually confirm the re-signing of Mark Tyne. He's come back to the club where he started in England. We obviously sold him to Brighton initially for 1.8 million, got him loaned back for us for a couple of seasons, and then we spent 1.1 million on him. 2.9 million, but only 1.1 because they gave us 1.8 of that million. So, there you go. I think it was nice to have him back. That's all to say. Henning Sleta is another one from Mould that we've signed. 3.6 million, this guy. Centre midfielder, 21 years old, a bit of a Mazzala. Aggression at 20, technique at 16, balanced natural fitness. So he's going to be around for a while. And again, like I say, I think another midfielder that has shored us up, given us a bit more options and versatility in there as well, which is great. And then finally, Kim Jae-hoon from Gremio, the South Korean international, 33 caps for them at 21 years old. He's a winger, so he is naturally a winger, but he can also play that inside forward role. Not great finishing, long shots or passing, but the first touch and dribbling, him driving into the box, some 20 determination is great, and he's nice and quick as well, with some good agility. So I think he can cause real damage in the Premier League if we get him going. So as you can see, not many players we've actually signed from Premier League clubs. Mark Tyne's the only one, really. But I think we've actually done pretty well in the transfer market. I'm very happy with it. The only position maybe I'm a little bit worried about is left back. Marcotta's a very defensive left back. A good one, but very defensive. And then you've also got Giancarlo, who's not amazing going forward either, really. He is a bit more attacking, but still not great. So we're maybe try and look at that at some point if we get some more funding in. We're in £20 million debt. But being in the Premier League, I'm pretty confident, as you can see already. We haven't even played a game yet, and we've made 3 million on our expenditures. So I'm banking on us making loads of money back on that, no problem at all. But today we have got Leicester, a massive team, a very, very good team in the Premier League. So it's going to be a tough one. And we've obviously got a few games coming up on TV as well, which is great. Liverpool, Man City and Arsenal as well in the first 5 games. Or 6 games is going to be tough. Our pre-season was pretty good. We did well. We beat Lille 7-2 in the Brooks Cup. Unfortunately, we did end up losing and drawing to the 2 Red Bull clubs, which meant we didn't win it for the first time. But I wanted to give us a real challenge before we got into the league because, it's going to be a challenge. And we also beat Porto 1-0 in the 90th minute with Thomas Hill scoring. But let's jump into it then. A team selection-wise, this is what we're going for. We're staying with our 4-3-3 that we know and love. In goal, Pereira, the 16-year-old, was phenomenal in the playoffs. He's valued at 43 to 68 million. And I'm hoping he continues to perform very, very well for us this season. Ramsey at right backs, Sepulveda and Magoma at centre half. So a bit of experience at the centre backs. And then Giancarlo at left back. We've got Violato, the former Napoli man, at holding midfield with Thomas Hill in front with Patino. Then Tom Lang, the young 17-year-old now on a professional contract. He's sitting in that right wing role. Looks very, very nice indeed. And Conway on the left-hand side. So the two that really got us promoted last season. And then Carlos Garcia up top. We've also got a good bench there. Feyzoglu, Jeven, Hagen, Sleta, Matteo, Amol, Ibrahim, Tyne, Marcotta and Jeven, with a few more off there as well. So it's a big game. Like I say, we're not expecting anything from it. And we're not expecting much from this season. The board are expecting us to fight against relegation and fight bravely against it, which we will do. I think there's no point changing the style we play. It's got us promoted. I'd rather go down fighting and playing a fun, exciting football than trying to go defensive and it not working and then having to risk things and all that sort of thing. So I'm hoping to some extent that the promotion kind of boost you get, or lots of clubs get when they get promoted for the first season, they tend to do okay and survive quite okay. So I'm hoping that that contributes to us surviving this season. And we can see how things go. But early on, it's pretty quiet as expected. The boys, I'm sure, are probably a bit nervous with a lot of changes in the side. We've got 3 new players playing, and Pereira making his league debut, other than obviously in the playoffs. So there's a lot to work on. But I'm feeling pretty happy with how things have gone so far, and fingers crossed. We can take the pre-season kind of form and hope into the Premier League. And we've got a free kick. Ramsey with the ball in. Lang at the back post heads over the bar in the end. Maybe a bit of confusion there at the back post between Lang and Sepulveda for that header. But, I mean, it's good to see. That's the first highlight of the game. And it was ours from a free kick. So we were obviously creating some stuff, being a bit annoying for Leicester, which is good to see. As we get into closer and closer to half time now, it's gonna be hopefully half time at 0-0. I am more than happy to take that against a very good Leicester side, with Pepe up top. Is that Pepe as in Ricardo Pepe? Yes, it is. Very cool. The American playing for them up top there. Not a lot of our players are playing well, but we're not awful. So that's quite good. What we will do, though, is take Tom Lang off and put Mark Tyne on that right-hand side. And Patino, I think we'll take you off as well. And we'll bring on Matteo, who was obviously very influential in our promotion last year, along with Tyne. So it's good to get them boys on the pitch. And we've got another sub if needed when it comes to anything else. But Giancarlo with a throw-in on the left-hand side into Matteo, who plays it back to Giancarlo. Can he get a yard and find the box? Not quite, as he plays back to Matteo. Violato. Ball in. Garcia's there. There it is. 1-0. Oh my God. We're 1-0 up away from home at Leicester. 2 minutes into the second half. Carlos Garcia with the header. Our top goal scorer last year has done it again for us this year in the Premier League. Wow, that's fantastic. A header that's got us the goal. A throw-in initially by Giancarlo to Matteo, who then finds Violato, whose turn finds Carlos Garcia at the back post, who beats Pelmard in the air to nod it home at close range. Keeper's nowhere to be seen. And it's 1-0 just as we get into the second half. We've looked very, very good, to be fair, coming into this. I mean, they've only had one shot all game. We've limited them so much. That's so good. And we're currently sitting in second. Do we stop the count now and just leave it as that? That's an old meme. Christ. But yeah, an hour gone and we're 1-0 up against Leicester. They have had an injury, but that was really early on, and I can't imagine that's caused them too much of a problem. Our 2 changes obviously maybe helped. Matteo getting the pre-assist to Violato. With 25 minutes to go, we're looking pretty good. 9 shots, 3 on target. Our XG's looking a hell of a lot better than them. Not the highest percentage of possession, but I guess it doesn't matter as long as we still continue to play quite well. I mean, you've just seen a cat's tail fly past. He's obviously very excited as well with the performance we've got in so far. Ramsey with another free kick this time. I thought it was going to be a corner. Missed at the front post, but Sepulveda does end up getting onto that. Ramsey back to Magoma, whose ball crossfield to the back post to Tyne isn't found, but Violato gets onto the end of it again. Hill now, who's been very, very good for us since joining us 3 years ago, I think it is now. But Leicester are looking to counter now. Hopefully we don't get punished by the quality that Leicester have coming forward. As, oh my God, is he on his own? Where is our other centre-half? What is going on? Is that... I mean, what a save by Pereira. He's not conceded yet, and he doesn't plan to anytime soon. But I can't... That was awful defending. We were all over the shop. We need to really shore up there. Ball comes in, headed clear by Violato, who's been all over the place in a good way. He's been all over the pitch, trying to win tackles, win throw-ins, get the ball into the box. Obviously got the assist as well, which is great. 10 minutes to go. I think we will make a change now. What do we do? Do we shore up, take Violato off because he's on a yellow card? I think we might do. And we'll bring Aiden on to sit in there and do his role. He knows the role very well. He played a lot there last season, so I'm hoping that helps. But I think we've done quite well with bringing in players that are good and also good for the future. So it's a mixture of both, which I'm hoping stays true. Justin with a throw-in for Leicester. Becker's now on that right-hand side, who gets a yard on the defender. Ball comes across. It's out wide to the edge of the box. Ramsey does well to head clear. Are we able to get onto that clearance? Not quite, as Soyuncu's now looks down the line again to Pelmard, who got beaten in the air for the first goal. Looks inside to Pierre. Then Kutchu, then Leon, who's round to Beckers, plays it through to Rogers, who's one-on-one with the keeper. Pereira, though, is there again. This keeper is undefeatable. He was offside, but Pereira didn't know that, and he had to make the save either way, and he did. Stop the goal. It's still 1-0. We are doing fantastically well. I can't quite believe what I'm witnessing here today. It's phenomenal. Boys and girls, this is quite the result if we can get it. I mean, I don't know how Leicester have been doing in the previous seasons in this career, but in real life they're very good, and I can't imagine they'd have just plummeted off a cliff. And Farlanez gets the ball from a free kick there, but what a wonderful... The game has paused because of the cat. You probably can't even see me because of the tail. We're all very excited here in Empire Towers, but Ramsey, ball forward to Tyne. Are we going to get another one just before the end of the game? Ball over the top to Hill. Hill's through on goal, not quite, as he's going to have to cut it back or fire it across. Tyne with the volley. There it is. It's 2-0. It's not just a 1-0 win. It's a 2-0 victory on the first day of the season. What a fantastic result this ends up being. The cat is going wild. You can see the little ginger butt right here. What a wonderful result. I know, Leo. It's great. It's great to see. Hill back to Tyne, who volleys it in. He's glad to be back at the club, getting game time he wants in the Premier League, which he wasn't getting at Brighton. And we have the 3 points. What a result. What a start to the season. A 2-0 win against Leicester. Oh, it's so exciting. I can't believe it. We've obviously done all right so far. It's going to be a long season. We know that. It's going to be a tough season. But with a lot of games to go, it's a great start. Sepulveda makes his debut along with Violato and Charlie Patino, who also made their debuts today, which was good to see. They played very well, and it was great to have them in the squad. What a result. We've got Southampton up next, so a bit of a derby going on there. Hopefully we can maybe even get another 3 points, which would be incredible. Keep that form going. But a 2-0 win against Leicester, who are obviously a good side. So we'll leave it there for today, though. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Make sure you leave a like for that win and subscribe to the channel to see how we are going to get on after that fantastic start in the Premier League. And I will catch you in the next one.